Hello. KKonaW. I thought I'm driving for a second.
He had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. The client pays, Carl gets it done.
Oh, the mouse. Ooh, the mouse. Holy shit. Is it camera sensitivity? I guess. Okay, a bit better.
They had set up to meet at the general store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it.
This game looks awesome.
When the roads were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
But the movement is weird. It will be good. Manastan, it will be good. Read, sure. What the fuck is this? The county of Manastan and its people wish to see you very soon. Why does this game have a weird film noir filter on it? You gotta be kidding me. Is it the bloom? Oh, the bloom is fine. Apple field, that sucks. Grain effect. Disable the shit right now. Looks way better. It still looks so weird as I'm walking. Empty bottle.
Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business.
Yeah.
Never mentioned a road blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond?
Or do I not need to deposit this?
That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Hamilton in jail.
Can I individually raise dialogue? Yeah, the voice. That should be 60. It's way too fucking quiet.
Lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortune. And those others hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another.
You can get out of the car by
So
yourself?
far, only the industrialist's house had been a target. But soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
I guess you can't. I wanted to check what that is. Only get out at certain parts. Oh shit.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
Kona.
Scratches did not stop Carl. His mother would be so proud.
Each sauces prevent Carl from freezing to death and save the game.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures. It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
Is there even a heat source in here? When under stress, car is less accurate and runs shorter distances. Less accurate with a gun? Or or how do I have to imagine that? Ok. But I did save the game. But there's nothing else here.
This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
Wait, so why is that good? Kona is in bad shape. He needs to heal his wounds and warm up his body before going any further. Ok. I have to find out how to heal yourself. So, what's my inventory? Tab? No, I. It's I. Consumable. Cigarettes.
Carl, like many of his contemporaries, felt like he had more trouble breathing when he wasn't smoking. Cigarette was his own personal breathing assistant.
So? That didn't hear me. I think it's food. I need to get somewhere. Where's food? Oh wait. No, I couldn't pick that up. Matches. Let's start a fire in here too. There's nothing else here.
Carl, ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
An accident. I haven't been this shaken up since Korea. Oh, that brings down my HP. You're kidding. How the fuck do you heal yourself? Oh, it's in the car. Okay. But I didn't know the cigarettes are unhealthy. It doesn't increase HP in this game. Okay, withdraw. Wait, I don't... It's at the back of the trunk, but it isn't here. I'm confused.
Polaroid, Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, had seen his share of husbands caught red-handed cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away.
It's not in my car, strong. Okay, retarded fucking right. This person is bad. You have to go back to your car and pick up the first aid kit from his trunk. Yeah, not my car. You idiot. Someone else's car. I don't know which or where it is.
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help. It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters WH. Carl thought about taking it. Nothing was to be left a chance.
Needs to explore and leave nothing behind. What's that photo? Oh, I'm not even doing this, okay. Now I got the control. Fuck. It's the winter.
Acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry. The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
What? Okay, sure. It's like a YouTube video.
Something fell to the bottom of the box. The milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit. The milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
I can't even like fit in here. Yeah. Wow. Oh. Dog.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out. Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
Oh. Interesting. Oh, there's somebody there.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore. Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
The beast enjoys.
This was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
Its sanctuary seems impregnable. Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the sediments bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence. A cold dread grabbing at your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. Wanna tag me? I had to cut its throat. The blade digging into its flesh made the sound of a taut wire. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it. I tracked it to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice, but I do know this. It is the work of the beast. Its attacks curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. I see.
What could these engraved numbers mean?
789.
Path suddenly appeared before Carl.
739. It's my car. Or not my car, I guess. Someone else's car.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself. That had to be the worst parking job ever. Who was Carl to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts. Or not.
Oh, hello.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized. What could be inside that
Station Vague, Montreal.
Taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
Really now?
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization. If
Fuck.
Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
This place is a mess. Uh-huh.
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
Ah, don't worry about it. You know what, Hamilton?
Deschamps was in charge of the general store.
I have a frog in my throat.
Employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
Customers could catch it, right? I'm a wise man. Not to worry, I have a nice doctor's note which I'm going out to get right now. Sadly, in the meantime, I have to close down the shop unless you would like to come fill in for me. I wouldn't dare advise you. After all, you must know how it's done, and since it's yours. With kind regards, your dedicated manager, Giles, whatever.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
You don't take the money? Fuck. Okay, whatever.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Okay, very nice.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Electricity from generator. If the generator is not on, I can think of. What better way to test this other than turn on? Yeah, no. Nothing.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Post office for the locals. What's this key? What's key? Can't check it. 4 is the flashlight, okay. I feel like the most important one is the flashlight. And some fucking
radiator
floor.
without power is as good as a wood stove without logs. The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Cleanest spot in the area. Interesting.
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Okay. What else? Electricity from generator turn on. Okay. So that should mean that there's electricity in here, right? Yep, okay. Did I inspect everything? That's a question. Can I check that? Let me see if this thing can be opened. What was here? Yeah, this thing. Unlock, okay.
The
I'm
murder
done.
weapon. What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. Shame he got unlucky. Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
Mysterious unbranded cans. Didn't even travel half the province of Quebec to come here. Place is a mess. No thanks, I ate too many of those in Korea.
Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already. A nice picture of the Magasin Lachance store, seemingly taken the day it was first opened. It feels frozen in time, from an era long forgotten. Amateur hunters showing some pride at having killed a nice pelted beast. With men like this roaming the area, wolves would become extinct within 10 years, Carl thought. Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already.
Where did I read that? That there's... Secretary wouldn't be bad here. I press here, turn the crank 2 times. Punch the machine if it doesn't work. Obviously. Punch it, that always works. So, according to like some information, there still won't be... Wait. Is there?
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
It is dark. It is recommended to use a flashlight or a lantern.
Carl knew straight away where to find the infuriated Gelachans. Any good investigation would have to start there.
Okay, but how do I switch around the... Okay, it's off now. So that should mean if there's another... Wait, power line. There can only be one at the time. Okay, the trash. Let's say nothing.
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Yep. Okay. Seems easy enough. Why is this good for me? I found the crowbar.
The crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Am I the one who's driving? Yeah, it seems so.
Carl was beginning to know the store and its surroundings like the back of his hand. The seeker had sought. The track was fresh. That meant the car sunk down just a little while ago. Now where the hell could the passengers possibly have gone? Someone had been playing with a crossbow here. A very dangerous game. A bolt could hit someone's tire or their eye. It could even kill someone if the aim was right.
Oops. Keep pulling that shit out. Deposit. Okay, let's see. Pincer. This hardware? Yeah, okay. And your owner seems to be Wilfred Roy. Nice one.
Carl knew why he was suddenly shivering. He was going back to the realm of visions. Carl had no issue recognizing the spirit-like figures, but he couldn't figure out what they wanted from him. The phantom, freed of reality's shackles, vanished in the forest. Earlier, Carl had witnessed a tragedy that befell it. The further Carl moved away from the ice block, the more his senses came back to him.
This is an Argo. I'm not supposed to be it, I guess. I have that feeling.
Someone must have dropped this in a hurry, but whoever did was heading into the woods. Carl's tracking instincts were quickly kicking in. There was only void where the road should be. Carl hated dead ends. He felt trapped. It was as if the road had drowned in the lake. He would have to find help by another route.
Huh. These are the worst loading screens, honestly. Blaze House. Oh hey, there's the
atmosphere surrounded the house. The soundlessness of the area suggested it was empty. When finding a boot, one wonders what became of the foot.
Dutch wire.
The key, which seemed to be meant for a padlock, bore an inscription reading Kitse e Fis. A company name. Better keep an eye open. Businesses weren't exactly numerous around these parts. The coals were still warm. Someone must have been stirring them up.
just do that.
The spirograph amused Carl. It was a nice modern toy, aside from being repetitive by nature and completely useless. Still, it found its way into many Quebecois homes. A pay stub for some undoubtedly harsh lumberjack work. Alexandre Blais felled trees and chopped woods for
Blais.
fils.
Alexander Blais. I fucking hate French language. Alexander Blais. Why did he put this out? Okay. Only the tormented minds smoke in bed. Only tormented minds smoke. I fear the worst for Alexandre. He hardly gets any sleep. I thought it was the work, but it seems to be far worse than that. From dusk till dawn, he stares into the void. He barely speaks to me. He starts him to play the ball, and he didn't say a word. And that way he has to glance at the window. Last night I heard him mumble in his sleep. He's coming, he murmured. I don't know why, but those words left a deep impression on me. He woke up shortly after, covered in sweat. He couldn't remember his name, obviously. He didn't go back to sleep after that, chain smoking the night away over the window. He told me to pack my things this morning. Wonder why. Does he himself know? We are waiting, but for what? I think I feel dread. So there's clothing over there, not long from here. Probably the woman's clothing. But why did she strip? Weird. What is that? Drawing. Le monstre. Co. Le monstre. Impossible creation for a mechanical drawing toy.
The sheets were in such a way that indicated a rude awakening, followed by a hurried escape. What had happened here? A window left open in that weather? Perhaps something had to be watched.
The fuck? Was there always snow in here? Or did I do this?
A window left open in that weather? Perhaps something had to be watched.
I think some motherfucker is in here. Furniture has been moved several times. Huh. Unsolvable accident. Over the last few days, the lack of resources forced the death investigation of Pierre Bleu to come to a halt. The autopsy of the body conducted over the last few weeks didn't reveal any clue that could have helped the investigators, who refused to comment on what would happen next. This new development is happening in the context of hypothesis of an accident, which is still, in spite of skepticism expressed by the local population, the ongoing official cause of death provided by the authorities. The incident is said to have occurred in the forests surrounding Lake Otamipek. Pierre Blech was found lifeless 2 weeks ago near a footpath leading to the soon-to-be restarted copper mine. Blech, an engineer by training who was working on behalf of the consortium headed by William Hamilton was reportedly in charge of the development plans surrounding the opening of the mine. At first, police had disclosed that the body had been desecrated. Today, the official version is that it was partly devoured by beasts, hence the original assumption that the crime had been committed. Fucking beasts. I use the toilet. A bit of reading to pass the time. Oh, fire starter. Prodigy. Why did you put away the thingy? There was somebody here. We need to kill it. I mean. Attach fire. Didn't I find a key? Equipment. Steak journal. Can you throw that out? Loot it. So it's not this one. Probably more to this house than what is being led on as of the moment.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
I'm fine. Cigarettes. 500 cigarettes. God, I would love 500 cigarettes right now. Did I seriously miss something? Like, where could the key be at? I did find one key, and that's it. But attach wire. And I'm also missing a key. Move forward. Okay. My sweet Mary, please excuse my handwriting. I'm in a hurry. I have to leave for North Manastan with Mom and Mrs. Roy, as they say it's far too dangerous around here these days. I don't know much about what's going on because Mom won't tell me anything in an attempt to reassure me, but all I know is she has the exact same expression on her face as when I start to her. Dad and Mr. Roy aren't coming because they have gone to get Mr. Lechance. They are real heroes. My grandmother lives in a very big house in Normanaston. You will be welcome there. I must go now, quite literally. Your friend Martin. So that's why that was moved several times for this reason. Someone ran out of time packing his luggage.
Money in a jar. What a shame. Carl would have loved cookies.
No, the money will do fine, because from the money you can buy cookies for yourself. But if you don't want cookies, you still can spend other shit. That on other shit, you know.
The picture had been taken inside the house. It was the same wallpaper. Judging by the smiles, nobody suspected the impending misfortunes. Little Martin Blais with his Uncle Pierre. There was a deep sense of bonding and pride coming out of the picture. Carl felt sorry for the man. No one deserved such a cruel fate.
Painkiller. Anything in the bathtub? Oh yeah, Yeah, it's not looking hot. Rather save the game. Fill up bottle. I have a bottle in my trunk. Gonna bring that in here. So far I like this walking simulator, it's not bad. The winter theme adds a lot to it. I can go there probably with the car. Get closer to it. Just drive up there. Yeah. I just love that you have a car as well for this ride. This journey. Empty bottle. Okay, I have a water bottle. I don't know what does that. What's that mean where like they make fun of each other for saying water bottle? One bottle of water. Something like that. A bottle of water. Bottle of water, British accent.
Would you like a bottle of water?
No, not this one.
Bottle of water.
Okay, this is no. It's found it.
A little bottle of water. A little bottle of water. A little bottle of water.
A Murloc.
A little bottle of water. A little bottle of water. A little bottle of water.
I just got reminded this. Somehow. Mystery how that happened. Let's ask the detective guy. Mr. Detective. Seriously though, where is the key? Where can I find the key? Why is there a picture there? I'm taking a photo of that. I don't care. I take a photo. Anything I'm missing here? Yeah, the tormented smoking bed. Ok. You know what? You can always come back here, I hope. And that means I probably leave for the time being. I don't know where the key is. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe this game is more complicated other than like, oh yeah, you went here, now you can unlock everything. I think it's a bit more... Oh, empty bottle. Deposit, empty bottle, water bottle, steak. Let's go somewhere else. Hopefully I can come back here. Originally, I didn't even want to go up here. I just fucking love this loading screen. It totally doesn't indicate something very vital, that the game might crash or something like that. The general store, it says. Okay, you can only use roads. That's a given. So, where's the other road? Oh, it's here. It's weird that I get out from the car with the button Q. I guess I didn't change it, but whatever. Buapre's clinic. Dr. Buapre. Oh, a key. A key? I meant to say a key. Please use the other door. Fuck you. You don't tell me what to do. Duct tape. Hurt somebody. I must definitely hear somebody. Why? Move carpet. Okay.
There should be a law forbidding doctors from falling sick.
Medical emergency in town. The doctor there is sick. I'll be back soon. If he dies, I won't be returning. I have to replace him.
In spite of Dr. Beaupre's goodwill, the place didn't look much like a physician's office. It could easily be mistaken for a sewing shop.
It might be a sewing shop. Isabella Beaupre. Beaupre, sorry. Why does this game take place in Quebec? Okay. But unlocking the door isn't enough. Nothing down there, nothing. Nope, nothing here. One bottle of water. My nightmare. Oh, it's in French, okay. Earth doesn't look this big from here. The doctor is apparently fascinated by history. Store in a cool, dry place with a constant temperature, they said. Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, weird. what you have here. Car's inventory is full. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Great care had to be taken searching this place full of oddities. Everything was important. The decor itself.
Log. Oh, okay, I understand what log is now. But at first I didn't understand why. Whatever, okay, now I understand. Okay, we draw. I need an empty bottle. These two. A log, a fire starter, and a match, maybe?
Told a story.
Honestly, this game could have been played with a controller. I just don't know if you ever have to aim in this game. I would rather not aim if... or like not play with the controller if I have to aim. Saving.
Carl got the trembles as he imagined the excruciating pain that kind of scalpel could no doubt inflict. Within these miserable walls, patients probably felt more like in a slaughterhouse than in a doctor's office.
First aid kit.
A chamber pot. Fortunately for Carl, inspecting it wouldn't further this particular investigation.
My comment on it. Communist Manifest.
Manifesto. Only a few years ago, this type of allegiance meant prison time. And even at present, the Western world was very wary of the Soviet threat. Why would the doctor own such a book?
The history of all... That's a word? Hitherto? It's a word. Oh my god.
Hitherto.
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 Yeah, hitherto. That's a word. Up until this point, basically. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guildmaster and journeyman. In a word, oppressor and oppressed stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight, a fight that each time ended either in a revolutionary reconstitution of society at large or in the common ruin of contending classes. In the earlier epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we have patricians, knights, plebeians, slaves. In the Middle Ages, we have feudal lords, vassals. I'm sure that's not vassals, vassals. The only way it would make sense.
Vassals.
Vassals?
Vassals.
Vassals. Okay. And you're supposed to understand the concept, or like the context of this word. Vassals, guildmasters, journeymen, apprentices, serfs. In almost all of these classes, again, subordinate gradations. Bunch of bullshit in this. Okay, change page. Read. Read. Okay. I mean, it's bullshit. I never did quite catch her name. The man called her Lore. She had a neck wound. There was so much blood. The bullet had done a lot of damage, probably hitting the cerebellum. It was hopeless. She had a cardiac arrest. The man had found her like this, they said. I doubt it, but in a small town like this, it's usually best to turn a blind eye. I have been told to step back from sending out the death certificate. This war thing sickens him.
The good doctor, flanked by his beautiful spouse. Pure happiness captured on cardstock. Carl recognized this woman's soulful eyes. Was it Dr. Beaupre who had hit him head-on at the village border? Nobody kills a rich patient to start a revolution. It didn't make any sense. He had to dig deeper still to understand. Luckily, that was Carl Faubert's specialty. Doctors used light-reflecting frontal mirrors to look inside the patient's cavities. That was a bit unsettling, but back then, it was pretty much always the case with medicine.
Can you even see this shit? Bro, does he not have a attached wire? I don't know.
For the one-eyed, or for other vision problems, the eye patch was the way to go. The injured could be recognized by the large stains of red, an informal nickname given to Merbromen, smudged all over their injuries.
Okay, there's nothing in here. Anything outside maybe? Prescription bottle? Painkiller. Prescription bottle, yeah. This one.
Someone had lost a few liters of blood here. Carl's first thought had been a lumber accident, someone's hand cut by a saw, or a hunting accident. In any case, whoever had lost all this blood couldn't have gone far. Perhaps they were already dead.
Now, why can I move the carpet? Can somebody tell me that? Hardware. Dip my toes, kind of. Honestly, that's just one thing that I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. I guess I have to chain the events together at the end. That's what needs to happen. Then at the end I can maybe go where the icefall is. That's what I imagine. People usually finish this game under 3 hours, so it's not that long of a game. Oh, it's all over the place. Oh, it continues here. It disappears again. Flare. What else is in here? mean, there isn't really anything here. Just gonna make the game save itself. Warm up a bit. I don't know, this attach wire thing is beyond me, but that could be. I think I'm just supposed to fill in the holes in the theories. That's all I need to do. Closet, pliers. What about a first aid kit, painkiller, revolver? I don't need the revolver as of now. There, don't need that either. Oops. I think I'm going the wrong way, yeah. The equivalent of holding a phone while driving. And okay, so I've been up there, right? Like up here. Or have I not? Like up here. Wasn't this the... Oh, I haven't been up here. Rosa Ayer's house. Okay. It's locked.
Oh, mon bonhomme! Je m'attendais pas à ce qu'un étrange retentisse par ici. Moi, te dire, je prends un peu de chance depuis que ça rôde dans ce bout-là. J'ai ma carabine au bout du doigt, et puis bang, 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 si ça s'approche. Si tu veux du linge chaud, parce que t'es habillé comme un gars de la ville, je dirais pas non à une bonne bouteille de caribou. Puis tu pigeras ce que tu voudras parmi mes guenilles.
I don't have that. But will you kill me if I just stand around here?
Vois-tu le livre, là? C'est le Wendigo. Ouais, le Wendigo. Un guerrier qui devient un loup pour se venger de sa grosse peine.
I'm not reading all this. Sorry.
Gomme-moi la belle rose de la tulipe, qui se donne au yob sur le mercredi des cendres. C'est-tu pas effrayant, cette histoire-là?
Yeah, just make yourself at home. Make yourself at home, proceeds to beat his wife like it's my own. Sure. I don't wear a liquor stores, so I guess I'm gonna be back here when I find one. I would have to imagine he's asking for what? Why can't I get in? This is a large map. This is not a joke. This game is not 3 hours.
air Carl had fed his mind, but had forgotten the harsh reality that his body also needed nourishment, especially in the dead of winter.
What am I stuck in? Okay. This guy basically gave me a quest. Let's see. I'm going backwards again. This fucking map. House of the Patriot.
That truck had obviously seen its share of gravel roads. Carl wasn't a mechanic, but he could easily tell that only the most heartfelt prayer would bring this old beater back from its slumber. With that cold, however, it was more likely that it would wait until next spring to wake up. The place looked more like a pigsty than a house. A heavy stench of curdled milk, cheap alcohol, and boiled cauliflower filled the air.
Why wash dishes when clean ones are within reach? What in the homeless? Advice is that? Gun wreck.
You had to be out of your mind to cook up white whiskey at home. The all-surrounding stench of alcohol alone was probably enough to gas a man to death.
Prepare caribou. Flowers are overrated.
The rag reeked of fermented vomit. Carl wondered how one could bear to live in such gross and horrid conditions.
White whiskey too much isn't a valid quantifier for that. Sherry wine for added mellowness.
Jean Blouin. Seems like that pig had a name after all.
The pig.
Rock music invaded the minds of men even in the remotest of places. The man didn't own a turntable though, so there's that going for him.
Quebec, liberation will happen by force or not at all. We will prevail.
Arms to stand against the yoke of English imperialism. In Montreal, mailboxes were blown up, abductions were carried out, and violent manifestos were distributed to media outlets. But around here, in the great northernmost, all a man could do is curse out loud against a faraway evil and pray for the revolution to arise. That man, by any reckoning, was from that very stock.
Why doesn't it tell me what it needs?
You had to be out of your mind to cook up white whiskey at home. The all-surrounding stench of alcohol alone was probably enough to gas a man to death. Carl knew right away that the owner of this place wasn't a copper collector. No, this was a junkman's base of operations. The guy definitely seemed like quite the expert in scavenging scrap metal, with or without permission, surely. In the right hands, red metal could sell like hotcakes.
Once again, there's footsteps. Bullseye.
An axe, not too shabby. Carl felt he needed to protect himself.
I wonder what combat is like in this game.
If Carl had at any point wished to get his hands on some caribou, he couldn't have wished for better than a distillery like this one.
Yeah, but where are the ingredients? My biggest concern right now. Because I found the distillery, but that's it. I just found one. Not much else. Keep it. Okay, once again I'm gonna go after the footsteps if I can. I can do that. Only it came from nowhere, so there are no continuations. What the hell? Shovel. The fuck can I toss out? I have to come back here. So fucking tired. I'm just so tired. I don't know why I'm not taking the car. I like probably have to go here. I'm gonna go back for the car. Like there's obviously nothing else there. I don't know why I'm on foot. Pick up the shovel. Something here. Yeah, something here. Start a fire over here. I think everybody is just hallucinating, and they are getting attacked by wolves, if anything. Like, how is that not the most plausible thing? Although there's already like supernatural things happening, so... Oh. There's another ice back there. Dear Mr. Lamov, here is the spark plug you ordered for your Olympic skidoo. Skidoo. This model being very popular has made it difficult to find a brand new part as quickly as usual. Thank you for choosing the garage Potwin and fears in Shibogamo. Sincerely, Potwin.
Sometimes, and especially around here, people are so possessive with their land, as a dog is with hydrants.
Is there any point of doing this?
What good was a motorless car? The mechanic sure had an odd way to go about repairing things.
Hamilton! Hamilton, I won't be your dog anymore. Snowmobile-ski.
Nice catio. They say it's supposed to soothe the soul. But with this powerful gale that seemingly never sleeps, it was far more likely to get on anyone's nerves.
Fuck, I keep opening this shit. I just want to put my camera away.
Carl had a hunch that there had got to be a plan somewhere that could help him put this thing back together.
How can you go on the roof? Is there any purpose for going on top of the roof?
Seems like the elements showed mercy to those nice and solid-looking planks.
I need a hammer. Makes sense. friggin' toilet here.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
Headlight.
Perhaps someone was expecting an important call. In any case, that person's in for a long wait. Carl already noticed that telephone services weren't provided in this area. Roswell, Atamipek, same story. Large deserts conducive to extravagant follies.
Suspension. This suspension has way too many parts. Taking a puzzle apart is easy, but putting it back together is another story. I patched everything up, but the tracks, I left them closed by. Escape. Don't drink and work. Don't drink and work. Don't drink and work is I'm misplacing parts of the machine. Regine came to help me work on the machine yesterday afternoon. For the most part, he helped me chug my bottles down to the last drop. I think we tried to ski or something. Bad idea. I still haven't found that one ski we lost in the process. Lamau.
These scribblings were undoubtedly the mark of a tormented mind. Something wasn't right in the poor mechanic's head.
I think it's fine. What the shit is happening?
Weird stuff. Kind of a crossing between a colander and a hairdryer. What was it for? To play telepath? To protect against nuclear waves?
I have to go back to my car. I need a match. I like this OST a lot.
Carl hadn't lived up.
I don't know which one I'm missing. Gonna get all three.
Find your reputation. He still hadn't found any of the wealth contained in Lamotte's lands.
Oh, I was really low on that shit.
Weird stuff. Kind of a crossing between a colander and a hairdryer. What was it for? To play telepath? To protect against nuclear waves? Carl deducted this was a map of the area. Were those pins pointing to places of interest?
Oh, I see. Pins. Oh, I just realized you can use the flashlight with death. It's kind of better. Apparently Lamont is a rock collector. Rock collector. I know. What the hell is the point of this?
worrisome victim of this ice, this one seemingly petrified in action. The poor man, before being frozen solid, seemed to have been defending the entrance to his cabin. But from what? Something very important must have been in there for the man to take such time and effort to hide it. But Carl didn't know how to reach it.
Pliers again.
To all appearances, Carl concluded, the owner of the place had moved more essentials from his house inside the garage. Peculiar man indeed.
Something isn't right when your bed is in your garage.
The very first steps of man on the moon were made more than a year ago. The event had surely captivated the mechanic's mind, for him to still keep this around.
Moon landing is fake, by the way. I'm gonna take a picture of this shit.
The week of October 5th, thought Carl. That was this week. The plug should have been here by now.
Too many orange juice bottles.
The shape of this machine, almost straight out of Star Trek, was out of the ordinary to say the least. It felt like this thing could fly up into space at any moment.
Green milk for little green men. Inventory, equipment, documents, no inventory. You use this automatically, I think. Headlight. Phew, I know it's in there, but how do you reach it? You have to go. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why you can go up to the. Okay, now that makes sense.
Sheets of metal everywhere. Was Carl out of touch with current home improvement trends? Or perhaps this was meant to protect against residual radiation? Gamma rays?
I saw something
No
in the
idea
woods.
How to interpret a message like that? On the surface, it seemed like he had one half too many of this puzzle. Enough to know he shouldn't take this testimony as gospel. The entire thing, being some punishment for a murder committed by Hamilton, seemed like an outlandish theory. Carl was doubtful.
Planet Elohim to be experimented upon in the lab. They are punishing me for not doing anything when I witnessed that murder yesterday. When I saw William Hamilton kill someone. Farewell. Damn. Hamilton killed somebody? I lied. Yeah, you can go up here, but this has zero purpose. Scrapes of metal everywhere. Bench, what the fuck?
Carl still wasn't done with the mechanics place.
I'm thinking of stopping here. I may or may not have made any progress, but to the next time, I guess. It's a fun game though.